Hello, Loulex. So you won a game today. It's very exciting. How does it feel to win a game, even if it is against BKT, or were they much more difficult opponents than you thought they'd be?
Well, it feels good. Not great, but I mean, since we're in France and I did an interview in front of the crowd and stuff, I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm pretty happy.
You played the Elise pick, and you were a bit more aggressive. You've had some criticisms this summer. Do you think you've been practicing hard and have shown the world stage that you can do a little bit better?
I don't think I've shown on the world stage that I can do a lot better. I mean, against SKT, I guess I did fine, but against EDG, I think I didn't play that great, in my opinion. So I think I still have a lot to prove.
Do you feel like you have had this opportunity to play against Edward Gaming and SK Telecom? Do you think that you learned a lot from the matchups, or maybe from the scrims here?
Yeah, I'd say I learned a lot. I mean, mainly team. Sorry. What is the word? Teamwork-wise, okay. Mainly teamwork-wise. I mean, lane swap and pick bands and stuff. Scrims in Korea helped us a lot, and yeah, it's mainly that we improved on.
Okay. Speaking of the lane swap, you did pick Mordekaiser. It was the first Mordekaiser pick, but you went and matched the lane swap top, and you kind of waited a little bit before you went for Dragon. Could you explain your decision making on that?
We just sent our bot lane top in case they match the swap or something, and I mean they ended up 2v2 top. I ganked for them, so it went fine. But then they just rotated to Drake too quickly because we overextended top or something. So it delayed us from like getting a lead with Drakes and sieging and ending the game and stuff. But as soon as we got the second Drake and the third one and so on, we were able to close out the game.
All right, and probably because you didn't have a lot of ranged carries, you ended up having to dive quite a bit this game. And a lot of the dives went okay, and a lot of them went pretty smoothly. How do you feel about your team coordination during those dives?
I think it was fun. It's just mainly that dive ultimate is hard to dive. I mean, so I have Gnar, so I have Kragas with ultimate can disengage, I have Ven really hard to catch, so it was mainly that, I think, but we executed fine, I think. Yeah.
You did, as I mentioned earlier, you did pick the Elise. How do you feel about Elise in this tournament? It seems to be very popular, very strong.
I think it's the strongest jungler by far right now. No other jungler can match our early game pressure. I mean, maybe Rek'Sai, but Elise has dive pressure everywhere, especially on top lane. At 3 minutes, if you're not top and Elise is top, they're just going to dive after your top lane if they so push it. So it applies just a lot of pressure on the map overall. And it scales okay, so I mean, there is no bad side of this champion.
You said that there is absolutely no bad side of the champion. I guess there's a little bit of a debate as to whether, you know, Runglive or Cinderhulk is better on it. Where do you fall on this side?
I'm not sure. I think it's maybe team comp dependent. I guess if your team comp doesn't have much AP, you can go for Runglive. If your team comp has enough AP, go for Cinderhulk. It's safer and it scales better.
Recently, H2K kind of picked up Betong Jock as a sub. Do you think having him around and having him on the team has affected your performance or your mentality?
Yeah, I don't know if it was in a good way, but I don't know. I guess I lost a bit of confidence in myself, kinda, after that. But after a while, I just kept on trying, and after I was set back on the roster and kinda like I was kinda sure I would stay, I picked up my confidence back, and yeah, now it's better.
And so you did lose your first 2 games, but you won this one, so you still have the opportunity to maybe come out of groups. Yeah, how do you feel about your chances?
Obviously, it's pretty low, but I don't know. Against SKT, we could have won this game, I think, if we didn't misplace the fight at Drake. So I think we have our chance, but it's definitely going to be difficult, like maybe 10 to 50% chance. So.
How do you feel about your experience at Worlds overall? If you feel like you can't really make it out of groups, do you still feel like this was a very valuable experience? Is there something that you wish maybe you had done differently? Or?
Well, just the fact that I'm at Worlds, I got to bootcamp in Korea, played against the best team in the world, and it improves you a lot. Like you can just see how the main jungler play and how the enemy team plays overall, like the lane swap and even standard lane. So you learn a lot, and even like on the stage, for example against SKT when Bengi invaded enemy at level 3 because Fiora gave him a leash. I've never seen that before, so I mean I definitely learned a lot from this.
Having played against both Burgevin and SK Telecom, a lot of people have pegged them as maybe one of them is going to be the ultimate tournament winner. How do you feel about their relative strengths to each other? And if you had to call one of them or maybe another team to win, who would you pick?
I mean, I can't go like really deep in detail about their strength. I can talk about their junglers, I guess. I think that Clearlove is like really consistent. He will never have a bad game. He will always be relevant in experience in gold. He will always apply decent pressure. Like, he's just a really, really strong player overall. He's probably the best in the world. Whereas Bengi, he will sacrifice himself quite often for the team in terms of experience in gold, just to apply pressure. So I think that's the main difference between those two.
If you had to pick maybe a team that isn't Wargaming or SK Telecom that you think could have a chance to win, which team would you pick?
I mean, Edward Gaming won against us more convincingly than SKT, but SKT won against Edward Gaming. But then again, it was just the best of one. I think in the best of one, SKT are better. Best of five, probably DG.
Thank you very much. Is there anything in particular that you want to talk about or would like to say to people watching?
Not much I want to talk about, just thanks to all the fans and thanks to for the interview.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck.